the first Boston record, we were turned down by every major label, including the label that eventually signed us. And they all said, well, that's not really what we're looking for at this time. So I think it was a little different for the time, and we just sort of had to trust that we liked it and hope that other people would too. But
was More Than a Feeling on that first demo?
Yeah, it sure was.
And did it sound like what we know it to be today?
The demos were, many of them were indistinguishable from what was eventually released. Set out for supposed to be a 6-week tour right after the first record came out, and we came back about 11 months later. Shows kept adding and records kept selling.
You have a wonderful creative freedom here now. What a lot of groups would die to have: anonymity. You can walk down the street, nobody's going to hassle you, you can be your own self and still do what you do.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a trade-off,
it's nothing that we really planned, you know, consciously, but it is true. I go home and, you know, like you say, it's not like David Lee Roth or somebody like that.
Babe, tomorrow's so far away. It's something I just have to say. I don't think I could hide what I'm feeling inside another day, knowing I love you.
It wasn't our desire to have 6 or 8 years between records. That's like cutting your own throat, really. So it wasn't anything that anybody was looking forward to, but it was something that came about and seems to happen with just about every band that's had any kind of success has been in some kind of lawsuit.
And I'm getting too close again. If I tell you tonight, would you turn out the lights and walk away, knowing I love you?
I have met people that said, yeah, we saw you back in '76, and now they got kids that are like 12 years old, and it's nice that neither one of them has to drag the other one to the show. You know, they both want to go.
I'm gonna take you by surprise and make you realize, Amanda. I'm gonna tell you right away, I can't wait another day, Amanda.
As promised, we're finally going to sit down and talk to a member of Boston, any member of Boston. It happens to be Brad Delp, lead singer. What was the challenge for Boston in the beginning?
For me personally?
Yeah.
I think it's a challenge that every young band has to try and have some kind of success. And I think success to me, and I think probably to Tom too, was not so much dollars and cents as it was just acceptance, feeling that what you were doing made sense to other people as well. And so the fact that all 3 of the records sold as well as they did was, I think, in many ways a vindication of what we've been doing all this time.
The Boston album, 1976, sold 9 million copies. What an incredible hurdle you had to jump over in order to do the second and third one. We never thought we'd see a third one. But somebody likened you coming on the scene in 1976 to Guns N' Roses. They just, out of nowhere, shot through the roof. Did you have fears that you wouldn't be able to top this with the second and third album?
Sophomore slump kind of thing?
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything that we really dwelled on while we were working on the record. I think those are things that maybe you think of right before a record is going to be released.
When you were planning Boston from 70 to 76 before the first album came out, did Tom kind of predict how this was going to happen? Could he see the future for the band?
My recollection was, and I think it was true of both of us, that we thought it was either going to do real well or just zero. That, you know, because it, as I say, I think for the time it was different than what was going on, and we did realize that it didn't sound to me like other things on the radio. I didn't know if that was going to be a plus or not. And fortunately, it just took off right away. We set out for supposed to be a 6-week tour right after the first record came out, and we came back about 11 months later. Shows kept adding and records kept selling.
Were you as amazed as I was, and most people were, how the Boston music hung in there, especially on FM radio? Still, to this day, you can turn on the thing and there it is.
Yeah, I still hear, you know, I hear Peace of Mind, More Than a Feeling today on the radio, and that's again very gratifying. And it has to be more so for Tom, as he wrote most of the songs on all 3 albums.
But radio has been kind to you in that regard.
Oh yeah, very much so.
But the music changed so much, the music business changed so much since 1970 when you guys first got together.
Well, it does. I think it does and it doesn't. When we came out, I think one of the problems we had was there was a big disco craze, you know, at that time, back around 76, and so we were a little going against the current, I guess, a little bit with that. Now you have Dirty Dancing, and which is pretty much, and a lot of stuff from the 60s is being redone and coming back. So I think what goes around comes around. Is that the phrase?
Why did you hang in so long with the whole Boston project?
Hey, it's the greatest job in the world, and I got, again, it wasn't anything planned, but I really took somewhat selfish advantage of the time off, where we were for a time prohibited from working, to spend time with my wife and kids. I got 2 kids at home, and that's a luxury that doesn't happen to performers a whole lot. Usually you're out on the road and don't see much of them.
The original concept for Boston, is it still alive today?
I'd have to say that probably the first song that we do every night, and it's been the first show we've done on all 3 tours, Rock and Roll Band, it pretty much epitomizes what he thinks of the band. There was a lot of, because he went to MIT and worked at Polaroid, had a master's degree, there was this kind of notion of it being a very sort of, him being a technical wizard. But I think if you listen to the record, you hear very little of that. It's actually quite the opposite. There's nothing is computerized. It's basically guitars, drums, keyboards, and singing. It's basically a rock and roll band, and I think that's really what he was trying to say. Hopefully get that across.
Boston has been on the road for almost, well, close to a year now, I would imagine, and it's still not over yet. Who's coming to the show? I would imagine your original fans are there.
Now they bring their kids with them.
Yeah.
And that's actually literally true in some cases. I have met people that said, yeah, we saw you back in '76, and now they got kids that are like 12 years old, and it's nice that neither one of them has to drag the other one to the show. You know, they both want to go. So I think that's really been Tom's strength, is having a broad appeal like that.
Here comes the big question. You ready? How long are you prepared to hang in there? How long will Boston go on?
As long as people want to listen to us, which so far so good.
It's not a bad listen. It's not a bad way to make a buck, you know.
Hang in there.
Have yourself a great show tonight. Okay. Congratulations. Brad Delp, Boston.